All right. Is everyone here?
I am here.
Yep.
Indeed.
All right. Did we get our happy birthday for Eltosian?
Let's do it, everybody. Incomplete, unsynchronous fashion. Let's do it. Happy birthday to
you.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday,
dear Eltosian.
Happy
Happy birthday to you.
That went
Anyway.
as poorly as I thought.
All right. So when we last left our heroes, you had received a contract from your friends back at the Dunwasser College, who had kind of misplaced one of their what we call it in modern terms as anthropologists, but one of their researchers who went out to study the Phalan. Basically, her return ship got shipwrecked, and the Phalan basically divvied up the what was found in the wreckage, and she was handed out to one of the Phalan nobles as a slave. So the Dunwasser wants her back. You went out with your good friend Samalin the Slaver and 5 mercenaries, along with your guys. You're doing this for a fixed fee. You had to pay the mercenaries to show up as well.
Indeed.
So, in our last session, in the course of heading out here, you ran across a tragic tale of a missing farmer who apparently had his parents stolen by some mysterious force while captive to supernatural creatures.
Yeah, Marignas, which are supernauts. 2 of them.
And on our rescue attempt, we all chickened out. Except for one. So how much screaming do we hear coming from the cave?
It is pretty quiet. How long are you going to stick around for?
I guess.
Are they coming after us, Max?
As soon as you dropped that guy and fled, they started heading back into the cave.
I don't think they're after us, but there's no way we could possibly defeat them. And we should maybe, I don't know, there's a Brayhan or something that was coming, but I don't know if we have time.
Also, some of the things you got from your talking with it before you fled.
Right, it seems like it was doing some kind of contract work.
Yes. Basically, it had to keep the farmer alive, but out of sight. Somebody want to... This is going to be a hard academics check to know something about druidry.
I have no idea, no such things. I can't even read.
Why, I've read literally everything at least once at some point. So, how about I give it a try? Mind in academics, you say?
Here, can I assist you?
Go right ahead.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need 3 successes for this.
Ooh.
If I was playing my elementalist thaumaturge, I'd have 7 dice on this. I missed that build now.
I suppose I can try to use my D8 brain to help if I've heard of anything, maybe.
I don't see why not.
No, well, I've heard something. Roll a D8.
Elto, you did it wrong. There we go.
Sorry. Typo.
You have team
There we
player
go.
though, don't you?
The gift of team player will give you an additional D12 rather than my D8. But you can still claim both.
Do you have it, Elto? I was reasonably sure you
No, I don't
did.
think so.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that still puts me up to 1d6 and 4d8. So, I'm smoot.
Yeah, you are.
That
Holy
is
cow.
5
Holy
successes.
cow. Just so happens.
So, in the course of your folklore reading, and your various research for going to Falon lands, which includes some rather speculative stuff, you heard of some rumors of druids who could steal someone's appearance, as long as, and the stories end various different ways. Either the person who stole it drops it to use something he couldn't use in the stolen form, or other ones, the person he was pretending to be died, and he no longer had a guise to steal.
So, as long as they have him, they can continue to pretend to be him. Is what I'm understanding, right?
Yes.
Sounds right.
On the other hand, it was not looking all that healthy. So whoever stole his guys is on a time limit.
I would tell that we at least were able to feed him, but is the Raven still around? That got us out here?
He's been circling. He is
I'll
not
be like,
getting
hey,
involved, but he is.
hey, get down here. I have something to talk to you about.
Secret Raven telepathy activate.
Yeah, Max will start waving her hands around saying, hey, I want to talk to you. Hey!
It lands fairly far away from the cave entrance.
She'll, of course, go up to him and get away from the cave entrance, be like, do you know
Caesar
that there's
will-
two Marig... Or come with. But, like...
So we'll call off, like, the mercenaries and go, no point in guarding the cave entrance. Let's go ahead, take a break.
Alright.
So here's what's going on, Raven friend, whoever you are, and why you are here, I don't know, but whatever. There's two Marigna in that cave with your farmer friend, and yeah, they've done some kind of hoodoo magic-y stuff to impersonate him. I don't know these things, but I remember hearing that there was a Brehon that was on his way in a couple days. Why don't you go and tell him that what's going on? Because this is way outside our pay grade.
Okay, so he takes the information that there's a Brehon on the way, which he did not know about. Thanks you for that, and I presume you pointed off to the farm where...
Yeah. Sounds like there's some kind of dispute
Right.
going on between, I wrote the names down here.
Alright, and he'll...
It's very
Thank you.
possible that his appearance was stolen, and this is all of some sort of framing job.
He
Right.
agrees with you and thanks you for the information. And if you've got nothing else, he will take off and head back that way.
Caesar will just briefly apologize that there's nothing we can do to actually save him without risk of vast amounts of life.
Yeah, it's not worth dying for. Besides, I have other people I have to look out for.
Not worth more people dying over.
Speaking of which, based on events that happened off screen, someone who got a good perception check might notice Morgan dumped the gorilla outside, go back inside, and the gorilla goes back inside as well.
Uh-oh.
Caesar will just raise an eyebrow. I'm not sure he's coming back out after that.
Well, the things seemed rather upset by us being there, but I don't know who's who votes for going back in and who votes for staying out here.
Well, it seems like I'm outnumbered regardless. So perhaps we should head on our way. And if he gets out of there, I'm certain he can catch up with us.
Yes, I believe his fate is in his own hands.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, you've still got an hour's worth of traveling left for today.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's do it.
I suppose we should roll the traveling endurance checks and I suppose foraging for afterwards. Or perhaps I rolled that already. I can't even remember.
The endurance is body, survival. What else? Well, no, not survival. What is it?
Endurance and such.
Oh, and hiking.
Oh, for foraging?
Oh, for foraging. Oh, okay.
No, I'm just wondering which check you're asking for.
I thought we were doing endurance.
Right, but given that foraging isn't like a continued hiking activity, I intend to do it to just sort of mitigate my own food supply.
Mm.
So I will go ahead and roll for both here with my traveling check. I do not succeed on being exhausted, but I definitely succeed on getting food.
What's the exhaustion roll? That's body.
Exhausted?
Yeah, it's body. And I think hiking. What else?
It's a body.
Endurance, was it?
Yeah, you can use endurance if you have the skill. The gift of hiking will also work too. And if your species die is the forest, you can also add your species die. If I'm not trying to bogart the GM, but yeah, that's how it works.
I think so. Or even habitats is the plains, so I don't get it yet. But maybe
Don't mind
later.
me, I'm just having a sandwich.
I see you've done your foraging already.
Max is a little tired and will start combat reeling if so be it.
All right. Well, we've got this set up such that you're probably not going to get into combat unless you get ambushed at night.
Okay.
Okay,
Which is not.
Sorry, something's very wrong here. I'm pressing enter, and it's not entering. It's acting as if I'm pressing shift enter, which I am not.
Weird.
Your key stuck?
Could be. I just shook the keyboard, and I'll see if that helped.
Sticky key on or something?
Shouldn't be, and it's still not working. Shit.
Mm-mm.
Well, I suppose then Sam and Max will continue for their hour until we stop. They'll set up their little tent and then probably sit down and relax for a bit.
This is
I've
working.
got a whole pavilion.
Could somebody roll a D8, D6, D12 for me?
D6 plus D8 plus
Beat you to it.
D12. Oh,
My
yeah,
rolls
you
were
did.
not as good, but you got a success.
All right. I don't know what's wrong with my computer here. I'm gonna try to just turn off Firefox and turn it back on.
Yeah, give it all a refresh, I guess.
If that doesn't work, I might have to reboot because I'm gonna check and see what's gonna happen if I press enter in Discord, if it's my keyboard or if it was both one of me.
And I guess for reference, with my food roll, since I get 3 days of food out of that. I'm gonna eat one, I'm gonna save one, and I'm gonna give the mercenaries one. So the
Alright.
mercenaries have had an extra 2 days of food to eat total among themselves.
Cool. Is that Ark's mercenaries or the paid mercenaries?
The paid mercenaries.
Sweet bonus.
Yep. So
My
they
bad.
basically have gained an extra dinar worth of food. Hooray!
And my characters all wrote their forging.
Yep. You got at least one success, so you get to eat today without spending
Alright.
money.
So go ahead and give me 2 more foraging rolls because the next 2 days are uneventful. The road is fairly clear. Unfortunately, they kind of dead end with the edge of a mountain between you and the destination. The mountain edged up against a swamp, which is actually the slowest moving part of the river.
Yay, food to eat.
Alright,
Yeah,
so
don't-
that would put
don't
us at
bother
the
rolling
end of
endurance
day
for those
5
two.
of our journey, right?
Let's see if I've got this right. Days 1 and 2. Day 3 is where we left off last time. So 2 more days. Yeah, that'd be day 5.
Alright, so end of day 5, moving on to day 6 then. I think. Yeah.
So you've had plenty of time overnight to think about this. You basically camped at the crossroads where you have to choose between the mountains or the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
So give me mind and academics versus mind and academics for the hills, mind academics and supernatural to know about the swamp.
Ugh.
Let's see. Mind, academics, and supernatural is another 2d8.
And
Mind,
geography
academics,
applies to
supernatural
the
for-
mountains.
So here's my swamp roll. I got 3 on that.
All right. So it's said that some dread wizard makes his home in the swamp, commanding an army of goblins who kidnap children. You've also heard rumors of some tribe of subhuman cannibals who may or may not be the minions of the dread wizard. Some stories they're the same. Some stories they fight. It's not really clear.
Interesting.
Anyone else want to roll?
You say there's a mountains roll, which is just academics, correct?
Mind, academics, and geography, of course.
Okay. I get this feeling maybe we need a pathfinder at some point. I got 3 successes on the mountains.
Yay!
I'm a smart bird.
Well, the broken hills are, well, broken and kind of dangerous. Bunch of steep precipices and the mist-shrouded valleys, waterfall or two, make things difficult.
So a tough journey or one fraught with cannibals,
Complications.
goblins, and wizards. So, how do you guys feel about those choices?
I guess since I just want to get paid, I'm more willing to go for the mountain route.
I agree with this
but-
logic,
Go ahead.
but
My consideration would be look around us, and who of us, or at least among us 4 or 3 perhaps, could truly handle the mountains? A rough hike up and down. I'm not exactly feeling it.
Do we have any idea which direction gets us? Do they both go to our destination? Or
Yes.
Okay.
I'm guessing it kind of just circles around to the same point right now. Neither is necessarily faster than the other, correct?
Yeah, the swamp is a little shorter, but it's a swamp.
How many days would it take us to get through it?
It is 2 leagues just to get to whichever one you choose. Call it about 3-4 leagues of swamp itself. And then 6 or 7 leagues beyond that to Cathar Marius.
Well, if we're expecting a fight with the chief when we get there for the Dunwasser lady, we might want to conserve our strength, even if it is a little more treacherous in the mountains. But it might take us a lot longer to get through the mountains by comparison.
So, kind of bold. What do you say? Mountains or swamp?
Let's see. Samalin points out that just because the chieftain passed it out, he may not actually be involved with getting her back. If one of his nobles has ownership, and of course slavery is legal, which he is perfectly okay with, he points out that you're going to have to deal with the noble directly. Which has its good and bad points. Also, a force this size is going to attract attention.
Undoubtedly. And I suppose Nefiru as well. What do you say between the two options?
Well, the swamp might be easier in some respects, but it's going to be nasty.
Yeah.
So then, Cuddlebald, I'm hearing mountains from you as well?
Yeah.
And that would seem to be the vote. The mountains it is.
All right.
Oh,
Worst comes to
correction.
worst, we pull a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's going to take 3 days to go through the mountains.
It's going to take more time?
That is sort of on schedule for what I've plotted, so...
Alright.
I think, anyway.
Alright, so hills then.
So it is.
All right, let's do it.
So on each day, each traveler must roll their body, climbing, and endurance versus 3. And if you're burdened, you're limited to D8s.
Body, climbing, and endurance. Fun check. I'm a bird. Could I just fly up stuff?
Make that weather sense and endurance.
Alright, then.
Okay.
Yay, Max is a gray fox. She can climb.
Speaking of which, I need to actually roll for all these mercenaries now.
Oh, yes. This is going to be fun to see.
Can somebody code out a macro for
Well, the good news is they're elites, so they have D8s.
Yeah. But they're elite mercenaries, which I don't think climbing applies to.
No, they don't have the skill, but they at least have a D8.
I actually do exceptionally well this time.
And if they have, if they're strong creatures, depending on their species. You can also give them a D8 for strength.
Nah, they're just wolves.
Wolves. Okay.
Wait, strength would apply?
For climbing, I
No.
think so.
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, mercenaries 1 through 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They're not doing
Yeah.
so
Yikes.
Only one.
So as you are crossing a treacherous cliff, one of them slips, another tries to grab at them, and also goes down. Let's see. Flat 3 penetrating. That's what? Their soak minus soak divided by half.
Well, if they soak and it's penetrating, that means they don't use their armor. Soak
All right.
damage.
Okay, so one of them is
Hurt and afraid.
hurt and afraid, but is recoverable. Okay, both of them are.
They just took a spill.
Actually, no, those are the botches. So they do not die, but they are injured.
If it's if they take 2 points, they're just hurt and afraid. It has to have 3 in order to be injured.
Well, I'm thinking it's flat 3, but it was a botch on the failure.
Sorry that took so long.
It's a lot of
No
rolls.
problem. I'm still trying to take care of the mercenaries. So yeah, 2 of them fell down with broken bones. And I've got, what is it? 1, 2, 3 more who just failed.
I thought one of them at least
Make
got a success.
Oh yes, one of the 5 got a success.
There we go.
And man, they did not do well. One of them is only afraid and injured. The rest are the one is only hurt. The others are injured as well. So
Ow.
So it would take quite a while to truly recover their injuries, and it definitely won't be before we get to our destination.
let's see, red is injured, right? I don't have it scrolled to the right space.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's the only thing we actually care about because hurt and afraid you can recover before then. But you're going to have to, go down and rescue one of them.
Sorry, Caesar.
Meanwhile,
Me?
You can fly. You're a doctor.
I can lift about my own weight, which is about half a pound.
and of course, yeah, he succeeds. Samalan is perfectly fine when it comes to the cliff face. So you've got them screaming for help down there. Does anyone have a rope on them?
We're in the wrong game for rope. Let's see. Nope, I certainly don't. Which of you brought rope?
Who was in charge of packing?
I did all the pavement. You were in charge of packing.
Neferu has rope. So she'll
Yes.
take care of that.
All right.
Perfect.
So, as I said, 4 of them are actually injured, so they're not climbing that well. Fortunately, none of them are actually unconscious, but they are screaming bloody murder as they're lifted up.
Ugh.
So that's day one.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, we have a second day, and we get to see if they fall down and die next time.
By the way, did Sam make a roll?
I can roll for him.
Yeah.
And I guess since it will be important from this point on, in case they might get preemptively healed of their injuries, Caesar's a doctor, plus 2 rotes, they get 1 for sleeping, and their food should provide them with a d6, because they paid for it. And that d6 could give them an extra quota, so they could have 3 to 4 each day.
All right. I've got
Unless
a lot
the
of
pavilion
things.
counts as like bed rest.
I'm not sure I'd call climbing through the mountains bed rest.
Yeah, or like, well, I mean a good bed. I'm basically guessing the pavilion doesn't.
So, I've got a lot of things out in front of me right now. Would you mind keeping track of the healing thing at least until the end of the adventure?
Indeed. How much is it for healing quotas in total? I forgot already.
24.
24. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna write.
This is why the priest of Salome.
Mm.
All right. So, day 2.
I am going to rote. So, and since we're both gray foxes, we'll automatically get 1 success.
I guess is a good point. I am rolling 4 dice, so I may as well take the route and succeed again, as I proved I can. If that is allowed.
All right. Sure, the goats do it fine. So, unfortunately, the mercenaries are not able to rote because they're only rolling 1 die.
Oh,
Firo, might you cheer them on as they climb?
So here's an idea before we start. Shouldn't people go ahead and like tie a rope or something, and then they might be able to get a circumstance die?
Go ahead and you can assist them.
Who's good at assisting? Because I have 1 die that I can use, or 2 dice rather.
So can we cheesily rote assist with all of our assists?
Well, I could rote an assist of a body of D6 and a climbing D4, and then they would be able to get a D8. So,
Well, if I recall right, you are in fact a wizard over control of Earth, aren't you? Perhaps you could make some steps or handholds of some kind?
All right.
Maybe we could
That's
just
a great
do
idea.
your
I love the
construction
logic of
project
this.
here. Just take
Also,
the day and make
I
some
love
staircases.
the idea of making handholds the whole way through. Because who actually
it's like
Alright,
that
that's
scene
gonna
in
cut our
Never-Ending
speed in half.
Story.
I wish for another handhold. No, you tell me, wish for 100.
I know, that's what I thought as a kid too. I'm like,
I
damn it, wish
know.
for another stair, not 1 at a time.
I know you're in a hurry, but stop being short-sighted. Oh.
So you can do it that way. It's going to cost you 4 more days instead of 2 more days. Either that or going fast, extra endurance tests.
I say we just take it slow and then hustle the rest of the way. Because if we risk more injuries, they could die.
I agree. Let's not kill off our help that we paid quite so much money for. It'd be a shame to get a refund.
All right. Let's see. Skip that. All right. So as I said, it was a total of 5 days in the Broken Hills. That way. How's the healing totals looking like?
If there's 5 more days to roll, I'll go ahead and roll 5d6 real quick here. They heal once, twice extra, and then 5 by 3 is an extra 15, 16, 17. They're at 20 of 24 at the end of it.
So, are you taking into account that it's how rough this travel is?
The only things I'm factoring in is that they sleep every day, and I'm a doctor, and they eat food.
Those are reasonable assumptions. Got it.
Additionally, I'm going to have to mark off food that I actually brought with me now. -5 is 17. There we go. Finally breaking into the stores. But at least I've been giving the mercenaries some extra food to compensate, so everything's good.
Alright. So, once you're out of there, it is about 2 more days to Cathar Murius.
Alright, by that time, just by
unless-
resting, they will definitely be healed of injury.
Yay!
Alright.
It's nice to have a really good doctor with us.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Imagine that taking twice as long.
Oh yes.
Now, without additional rolls, I will just go ahead and eat food.
I suppose on the road I can still forage, right?
Most likely, but I assumed we were expediting a little bit.
Ah, yes, that's right. Okay, so scratch that.
Alright. Alright, so you know the organization, wizards and rogues up front, warriors in the back. And I suppose we ought to say hello to the local lord, shouldn't we?
Alright, so 1 moment.
I really hope we find somebody who speaks Calabrese.
So, I've actually got you guys set up on the wrong end of town. So, you approach from the southeast, which on this map is actually the top right corner, which I've just moved all your tokens to. As you approach, there's a dirt wall with wooden palisade. There's a bunch of people watching the gates. Earlier in the day, you clearly noticed ravens circling overhead. You are not being subtle.
I find it difficult to be so.
Also, on the side of the outside the palisade walls, there is a small stone chapel with the Salamer symbol. Some kind of mission.
They would know Calabrese.
Obviously attempting to educate these heathens, yada yada yada. I suppose it might be good to hire a local translator in that case.
Yes, so Max will approach the mission and see if there's somebody she could talk to get more information, perhaps gossip, if you will.
Well, the Master Felipe of the Salamer mission is not really a gossipy type. He's a highborn horse from the Avapoys lands. Let's see. Yeah, he's bringing the light of Solomar to the people who would otherwise never know its glory or salvation. Go ahead and roll gossip. Get him talking about himself.
That's a negatory there. Oh, could I use my gossip? Oh, shoot. What would be a good favorite use for gossip?
With nobility.
With clergy.
Caesar could also just try to provide an assist roll for being there and helping get the chatter going.
Sure.
So I'll roll 2d6 to assist. Go ahead and take the 8.
There we go. We have at least one success, so we might be able to determine which direction the Lord we're looking for is headed, as well as any other strange happenings going on in the town.
And I suppose if he happens to also speak our language, as that might be important.
Right.
Oh, you did hire somebody for that.
Oh, very
okay.
true.
Oh, that's right. We hired the whole tiger for that, didn't we?
So, he definitely heard of the ship that crashed on the shore. He had to do a whole bunch of last rites on everyone who didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
But when the Philon got there and looted it, he did hear that there was one survivor who was allocated to a Dur Gilroy. Master Felipe characterized him as a disagreeable fellow. And that was instead of his share of the loot. He can vouch for the fact that the bodies were definitely taken out by the shipwreck. There were no sword wounds or anything like that.
Okay. Well, does the good father here happen to know if there are traders who might be interested in goods from more civilized lands, such as crossbows and paper?
Let's see. Well, you might try the market, but they are a provincial sort. Let's see.
Might there be those here who want such things?
Possibly, but the closest they come to scholars here are the druids, and like Triskelion holds the bacilla for the Solomar faith. Cathar Murius actually holds the 3 highest ranking druids. And he tries to pronounce it, but it goes horribly.
Yeah. So who here happens to have negotiation?
I do have a bit of negotiation.
Well, Max will sidle on over and say, "Hey, you want to help me make a few few dinar?"
The only place here that actually settles with dinar is the tavern on the opposite side of the walls, around the hill fort.
I suppose we can still trade for things. I know that they have silver earrings. Like, basically, I brought with some crossbows and some paper. Those are things that they're not likely to have here. I'm sure I can actually make some cash on, but I'm not so good at squaring a deal, you see.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be willing to share some of the profit if you can help me help close the deal here.
All right, I'm in.
So, what we should try to find is some sort of, I guess you could say, I think they're Brahons or Phelan. They would still have use for paper, as well as some warrior types who would be willing to upgrade their bows for crossbows. So I can try to gossip around town if we have our our stripy friend translate for us.
I suppose I should remind you to not forget why we came here in the first place, but, well, keep it in mind.
True.
As far as provision goes, we only have a few days to spend here.
So, what are
Less
you
so for
going to
taking
try and
mountain.
trade for?
Well, I do know that the pagans have something called bunny dot, which are silver earrings that are worth 3 denarii outside of Phelan lands and 5 within it. So if we can trade equal things or something along those lines, they might be able to part with that. If nothing else, we could just melt them down. Silver is silver, after all.
All right. So, you're not getting that much interest. Oh, by the way, how many people are actually going inside the walls?
I'll go in.
Yeah.
Check
Oh,
In the
peek
ferry
around.
room.
Are you bringing your mercenary posse? Or the hired mercenaries?
Yes.
So yeah, the gates are definitely questioning this. Oh, who are you? Why are you here? Who do you serve? You know, the usual questions.
That's your cue, Lady Nefiro.
I am Neferu bin Harit. We are here on behalf of Dunlasser Academy. We mean no harm. We only wish to stay within your walls. And wait, who we well, we must also speak to Del Gilroy if that can be arranged.
Can
Yeah,
I
and then
interest
she will
you in a
step back.
crossbow?
Durgil, I cannot allow a armed force of such size within the walls. If you'd be willing to peacebound your weapons.
But of course,
So, they handle that. They let you through the gate one at a time, make sure all the weapons they can find are peacebound.
Wizard staff included, I suppose.
Yeah, they are well aware of magic.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just want my walking stick.
Surely you
Lightning
won't
just comes out of
deprive
it incidentally.
Surely you won't deprive an old man of his walking stick.
All right. So there isn't really inns in the inside the walls.
I suppose it
Well-
would be where we would arrange sleeping with someone. But that might have to be, let's talk to the noble then, maybe.
The way you said that implied there was an inn outside the walls. Is
Oh
there?
yeah, that's the one that actually takes denarii.
Ah, I'm
So
sure he's
maybe
expensive.
we'll end up there later. We'll see.
Yeah, if you look at the map, it's if you zoom out, it's number 6.
Ah, the big building on the other side of town.
Yes. The church being number 5.
Okay, well I guess we'll boogie on over.
Does the church have pilgrims' quarters? Or the equivalent?
Just go on down the
Some-
road.
So let's see. Yeah, it looks like it was previously like a farmstead or something. You're not really sure how the priest got a hold of it, but you could ask. By the way, I actually set this up such that the scale is in tens of meters and actually meets the paces.
Yay.
Very good then.
Cool.
So yeah, your tokens are 10 meters across.
I'm a big bird. All right. So if you want to go and peruse the markets, I suppose we could always do that first, and then head our way towards the estate up there.
Sure.
Fair enough.
So there is one market, number 8. They are not people given to commerce. The few booths or setups here look ramshackle compared to the splendor and variety of Gate or Triskelion. Few people here will accept Denari.
But are they willing to trade for these elaborate and powerful weapons that are no match for their longbows?
So how long are you hawking your wares?
I guess I'm just asking around first to see if there's I'm not setting up a stall or anything, but just seeing if I can see if anybody might be interested or if there are warriors somewhere who might be or something like that.
All right, give me a gossip test.
Would you like to
That will make that
Just-
will and gossip.
I'll assist with the Peru.
Well, 2 successes.
Well, I got an assist for you as well, B. Ah, oh well.
Well, still 2. Oh, hey, can I add another one?
Indeed, you can.
Nice.
Derp. Still
I
2
feel like that's
successes,
my fault.
though.
All right. So, let's see. Elto. No. Liz, you've got your station set up. Elto and Arcoid are spreading out to ask more people. Where's everyone else while this is happening?
Driven by tokens, like the knowing about it.
I suppose I'm hanging around Max for the time being.
And
No one
whoever my
else?
negotiator is.
No one else.
So- Let's see. You probably have Samalan as your translator.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, some farmer comes up, starts asking about crossbows. Go ahead and give me a perception test.
That would be mind observation.
Yeah.
One success.
All right. Yeah, he doesn't really seem to have doesn't really seem to act like the farmers you've met.
Yeah.
Let's
Does he
see.
introduce himself as Guy Incognito?
No. but well, you don't really, you can't tell the Falon names apart really that well. So he may be calling himself that in the local tongue, and you couldn't tell.
Surely we could ask a few simple questions of like, oh, so where do you live around here? Oh, you were interested in shooting what now with this? Wild boars? Oh, yes.
Which
Let's
says
see.
nothing about the neighbors, am I right?
Oh,
They are neighboring the Boar Nation.
so I could prod inquiry and see if there's anything odd going on here.
Let's see who rolled. Max did, and did anyone else?
I don't think I've rolled anything in particular here.
For the perception.
Oh, for perception? No. I could roll that. Mind observation?
Yep.
Nope.
So, you guys aren't picking up anything, but he is asking for several crossbows, and okay, go ahead and roll insight or whatever.